Hi everyone, it's Lisa here, and I'm up today in sunny Sydney, and I'm here with the lovely Rachel from Hamlin from Fairvine, which is Australia's newest super fund for women. We're so excited. I have to tell you all about it. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you, Lisa. It's lovely to have you here in our lovely city.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got a view of the harbour and one thing and another, but we're not going to show you that. We're going to tell you all about Amazing Super. And one of the things that really shocked me was the statistics that go behind women and super. So, Rachel, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So, I think one of the most startling issues in I guess the gender diversity or the gender
Yeah.
gap at the moment is that the gender super gap is around about 50%. So what that means is women are retiring with almost less than 50% of what men have when they retire. So
Wow.
there are so many reasons for this. It's a tremendous amount of inequity in the I guess in the system, and we're here to try and close that gap and hopefully address some of the inequity.
Yeah. So at the moment, they're saying that 45% of women are retiring to poverty, which means they're going to need to access some form of pension to get by as they retire, which in Australia,
It's unreal.
I mean, we're a wealthy country. Can you believe it? It's just...
It's unreal. Look, the largest growing group of homeless Australians is women over 55. And that is, I mean, that's just a startling figure. And we talk about the fact that it's an Australian issue. It's not just an issue for women, it's an issue for all Australians, because these are people's mothers, sisters, friends, aunties. And, it's not necessarily the kind of homelessness that you see the beggar on the street. It's more women who have insufficient housing. They're sleeping in their car, or they're couch surfing, or they have vulnerability when it comes to housing, and that's hugely a result of the gender superannuation gap.
Exactly, and you can imagine how the perfect storm arises. We're seeing, not only do women earn less as they work, they often, take time off because they're having children. And then maybe there's quite a lot that go through divorce, and they tend to take the house and the kids rather than actually, going after the super. And many of them then start a business and hock the house to run the business, and not all of them, sell their business to make a profit. And I know, because I talk to lots of women in business, there are lots out there, and I'm sure many of you are on this end of this video that are not paying yourself super, are you? But we might have a solution to that. Anyway,
Absolutely.
so tell us, how did you get into this?
Well, I came across the gender super gap a few years ago, and sort of amazing, given that I was a woman in my 40s. I learned about it the hard way, in that I actually looked at, no, Stephanie, a man is not a financial plan. Definitely not. Look, it can be for some people. It's certainly not for me, and I don't recommend it. I came across it as a result of going through a rather hairy divorce. I was the breadwinner in our family and had the majority of the assets, and when I divorced, I lost more than half of my super. Until that time, I actually didn't really know even what my super balance was, which is kind of amazing, considering that I consider myself to be, I've been running organisations with $1 million budgets and presenting budgets at the highest level, and yet I didn't even know that much about my own personal financial situation.
That's because you're busy doing work for other people.
Absolutely. And
Common story.
it is a really common story, and as we've researched and as we've looked into what are the triggers for women and what's causing women to be in this situation, we found that is a very, very common tale. We talk to women who are in very senior roles in banking and finance, and many of them have handed over the control of their finances to their partners, to their husbands, and it's really challenging for a lot of women when they find out that they have a significant gap between what they have now and what they need to retire.
Yeah, and so Fairvine offers some amazing solutions. I'm just super pumped about it. I'm so pumped that I've signed up. So
She's a member.
Yeah, exactly. So, but tell us about some of those ones, because I think this is very cool.
Yeah, sure. So, there are a few, I guess there are a few things that sit around the solution, because we are, there is actually a lot of talk out there recently about the gender superannuation gap, which is a great thing. However, talking about it never actually solved it.
That's right.
And so we spoke to women, and by women I mean a lot of women in a lot of different circumstances, and tried to figure out what it was that would actually work for women and how we can create tools that will enable them to close the super gap for themselves. So we have some really amazing policies. One of them is that we don't charge, or at least we refund your fees when you're on parental leave.
Yep.
So for that entire period you don't pay fees. One of the things as well that we found is that 40% of Australians have more than one super fund, which often means you're paying multiple fees and multiple life insurances, and many people don't really understand how life insurance works, and often don't realise that what they're covered for won't actually, what they think they're covered for won't actually happen in the end. So, you've got 2 or 3 life insurance policies with different insurers, or with different super funds. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're all going to pay out should the worst happen. So we look at right-sizing your insurance. We talk to you about your insurance. We have one of the highest default insurances, life insurance policies of any super fund in Australia, simply because women are really easy to insure, because we look after ourselves better.
Exactly.
We go and see doctors before it gets, critical. So, we're taking advantage of that. And, there are lots of other things as well. But, the tools that we have which allow you to contribute more, that to me is the most exciting thing. Because the answer to closing the gap is, unfortunately, at this stage, it's really only about contributions and increasing your contributions to super. So we looked at a few different options and spoke to our members and customers. We have top-ups, which is a very easy way of, if you have a windfall, or if, say, you are working for yourself and you receive a large payment, or you have a bit of extra money, we make it really easy for you to put that in into your bank account. It's basically as simple as a direct debit. That's already set up. You literally just go into the portal and add it that way.
Which is one good way.
Yeah, another really interesting one for us is roundups, which I personally really love, and it basically what it is. It's becoming more common, and certainly a lot of banks offer it, but they don't pay it into your super. They just put it in your savings. So we looked at the idea that if you pay every time you swipe your card for your coffee, say, or whatever, it doesn't have to be coffee. Somebody asked me that the other day. They said, I only drink hot chocolate. Does that count? It does. But whatever it is that you're paying for, you can round that up to the nearest dollar. So every time you buy a coffee, and in Sydney at the moment, my coffee is $4.20, and that rounds up. Rounds up to the nearest dollar. So 80 cents goes into my superannuation.
Perfect. And of course, the base level super, if you get 500 in a year, then the government will match, co-contribute. So,
Right.
if you're not putting anything in, which as I said, I know lots of you aren't, at least getting it up to the $500 mark is a good thing.
Absolutely. And $500 adds up in the long term.
Yeah.
The power of compounding interest is, I think, the thing that many of our members have been really surprised and happily surprised by.
Yeah.
And my favourite, rewards. So our rewards program, we're just currently, it's in development. We've got some really amazing partners already. We've partnered with Lorna Jane, that's one example. So basically what that means is the companies pay, so companies like Lorna Jane, for example, if you buy a pair of tights from them for $100, they will pay us a percentage of commission. And rather than us taking that commission, we pay that commission into your superannuation fund. So, it's sort of between 5 and 10% for most of these rewards partners. So, you know, it's things that you're buying anyway.
Yeah.
It's stuff that you're buying anyway. And if you do it through our portal, basically what happens is, you know, that money, you do
It's
it.
free money.
It's free money.
You were spending it anyway.
That's
and
right.
Essentially what you're doing is getting the benefit of your ability to negotiate some rewards. But unlike the rewards card, you might actually see it. I don't know about you, but I put stuff on my rewards and I never get anything back. So I'm probably a bit inept at that. But, you know, it would be nice to know that stuff is just silently going to super.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and it really adds up. All of the little stuff adds up because you're talking about, you know, 20 to 30 years worth of compounding interest, and that makes a massive difference.
Yeah, and lots of people talk to me, you know, it's never too late to start. I was chatting to a woman this morning who's in her 60s, and she's worried, she runs a business, and she's worried that she's not putting any money into super. And putting something in is better than nothing, right? And again, taking a benefit of the government co-contributions all the way along as often as you can, from now until you retire, will all make a little bit of a difference. So it's so easy to sign up and get going, really.
It really is.
Nothing
It literally
much
takes
to
5
lose.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, essentially can start helping. So I love the fact that you capitalise on what women do best, right? We spend money.
Yep.
And so, you know, again, it gets people thinking front and centre about, you know, keeping super on the radar.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much so. And, you know, we have to start thinking about this. The government is not going to bail us out. They're not going to
That's
rescue
right.
us from ourselves. It's up to us as women to take this on.
And so if you're interested and you're a Business in Heels member and you want to check it out, sign up, whatever, we put a link to the website on the video, so check that out. And if you're chatting to anyone, let them know that you come from Business in Heels. Ladies, think about your super. It's not so sexy, but it's a really important topic.
Yeah, and look, it's so quick. This is the thing. It's a really. Most people think it takes 2 to 3 days to sort this out. At least 2 to 3 days. It's literally
Yeah, exactly.
5 minutes. you
Yeah,
know?
it was. It was 5 minutes, and you're off and running.
Yeah.
Cool. So enjoy. Talk soon.
Thanks.